In July of 2012, Mark Zuckerberg made a purchase of his Palo Alto home worth about $5.95 million, located just 3 miles away from Facebook's headquarters. He financed this purchase through a 30-year mortgage, despite being 28 years old and ranked as the 40th wealthiest person in the world with an estimated net worth of $15.6 billion. One might wonder why someone with billions of dollars would choose to incur debt instead of easily buying multiple $6 million homes with cash. However, the answer is more complex, and it all boils down to the concept of free money. It may sound absurd to think that someone would receive free money when they are already a billionaire. Let's explore this concept further. The key lies in understanding interest rates. In the United States, the inflation rate ranges from 2.5 to 3%. In today's terms, that's a conservative estimate. Any borrowed money below the inflation rate is essentially considered free money. While Zuckerberg's mortgage rate is slightly above 1.05%, it is adjustable, meaning it could potentially increase based on certain circumstances. When you calculate the figures, it becomes evident that the bank is actually at a disadvantage, since the mortgage rate is lower than the inflation rate. This concept is important to keep in mind when the rates eventually do correct. You don't need to be a mathematical genius to comprehend this concept. Let's consider a simple example to illustrate this point: borrowing $1 million at a rate of 1%. The average rate of return on a savings account is 2.4%. Even if you deposit those $1 million in another bank, you would earn $24,000 per year while only having to make a monthly payment of $10,500 to the lending bank. Now, imagine applying this strategy to sums of $100 million or even $1 billion. When you have the opportunity to borrow money essentially for free, it doesn't make sense to tie up your own funds when you can employ them for more profitable ventures. Of course, this approach may not seem sensible when dealing with smaller amounts of money, as the difference wouldn't be substantial. However, when dealing with larger sums, even a 1, 2, or 0.5% variation could potentially translate into tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars in gains. Imagine you're a successful entrepreneur with more than enough funds to buy a $1 million house outright. However, consider this: why tie up all of your capital in a property when you could finance it at a mere 1 or 2% interest rate? By doing so, you can allocate the remaining money into your business, which has the potential to generate returns of 10, 20, or even 30%. Alternatively, if you prefer a more effortless approach, investing the funds in an index fund can still yield significantly higher profits, especially over the span of 20 or 30 years. Historically, index funds have shown an average return of 8%, meaning the difference in percentage between your mortgage and investment returns would end up in your pocket. Ultimately, it all boils down to the concept of opportunity cost. From an economic standpoint, it wouldn't make sense for someone like Zuckerberg to purchase a house outright when they can secure a mortgage at a mere 1% interest rate. And it's not just him who thinks this way. Consider Elon Musk, whose wealth primarily stems from Tesla and SpaceX. If he were to buy a $20 million house, he would likely need to sell a substantial portion of his assets, pay taxes, and incur various expenses. However, by taking advantage of low-interest mortgages, he can acquire free capital and keep his monthly payments within his budget. Musk even obtained a $61 million mortgage for 5 California properties with a monthly payment of $180,000. This strategy isn't limited to billionaires alone. Moderately affluent individuals like Jay-Z and Beyoncé have also embraced it. They financed $52.8 million of their $88 million house with a mortgage, while making a 40% down payment. Consequently, their monthly payment amounts to $149,600. In contrast, the national median home value is $200,700. Instead of locking $53 million in a house, Jay-Z and Beyoncé understand where to invest it to maximize their profits. As a result, they have made numerous successful investments and are on their way to becoming billionaires. The wealthier one becomes, the more opportunities they uncover to generate additional income. However, let's be realistic. Not everyone can secure such low mortgage rates. Nationally, the average rate is approximately 3%. Nonetheless, even at that rate, it still doesn't make sense to purchase a house outright if you have the option to finance it. Now, let's address the question. Why do the super rich receive lower interest rates compared to the rest of the population? To start, being a billionaire ensures that the bank feels secure about lending to you, as the chances of defaulting on a loan are low. In case of an unforeseen circumstance, you can easily sell a portion of your business to repay the loan, eliminating risk. On the other hand, the average employee faces the risk of being unable to work or losing their job, making it difficult to pay off debts. Another advantage of paying off your mortgage on time is that it helps establish a healthy credit score, which can come in handy during tough times when you need to borrow money from banks. This builds trust between you and financial institutions. However, it can also be the other way around, as banks offer low mortgage rates to establish strong relationships with wealthy individuals who are more likely to seek loans from them in the future. While the low rates are a win-win situation, they are adjustable and can go up, as we're seeing in today's current lending environment. Nevertheless, the ultra-rich are not worried, as they can easily pay back their mortgages if the rates become unfavorable. However, most people associate debt with negativity, as they often borrow more than they can afford for entertainment purposes, leading to higher payments. Student debt, for instance, is a burden for many right after they graduate from university. Playing with debt is not easy, as a small miscalculation can result in disastrous consequences. Many individuals now find themselves unable to pay unexpected bills due to monthly payments eating up most of their income. It is important to be cautious and responsible when taking on debt to avoid financial hardship. However, that's the key distinction between bad debt and good debt. If you're reckless, debt can ruin your life, leave you homeless, and cripple your family. On the other hand, if you know how to leverage it effectively, debt can make you incredibly wealthy. Leverage is a superpower that has the potential to instantly increase your riches. To illustrate this, imagine buying a cottage for $10,000 and selling it for $11,000. You made a $1,000 profit, but it's not significant. Now, let's explore leverage. First, you approach the bank and borrow $990,000 to purchase inventory for your business. Let's say phones. With your initial $10,000, you now have a total of $1 million. Using this amount, you purchase 100 phones from your supplier. You then sell them in the market for $1,100,000. However, you still owe the bank, so you return the borrowed $990,000 plus an additional $10,000 in interest. After deducting your initial $10,000 investment, you're left with a pure profit of $90,000. This demonstrates how you can generate wealth without having a large sum of money up front. While you make your profit, the bank also earns its share. Naturally, if this formula is taken to extremes without proper regulation, as was the case in the 2008 financial crisis, it can lead to disaster. Do you recall when home prices plummeted and triggered an economic downturn? Investment banks had used leverage to maximize their profits, but their strategy ultimately backfired. They started providing mortgages to individuals with less than ideal credit scores and insufficient financial preparedness to meet monthly payments. As a result, mortgage defaults skyrocketed, causing a nightmare for investors accustomed to rising home prices over the previous 4 decades. However, delving into the intricacies of the 2008 financial crisis is a topic for another video. Nonetheless, leveraging remains a significant tool for the wealthy to accumulate fortunes, despite the inherent risks that can result in devastating losses. I hope you've enjoyed and found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more content like this, consider subscribing and clicking the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. Thanks for watching.